right, well, we're here with Nate Doss, three-time world champion, one of our greatest friends. I've known Nate now for, what, about 20 years?
20 years.
Watching him as a kid grow up into this man who just destroys people out on the golf course, and it's awesome to see what he's done in his career with disc golf.
Yeah, let's talk about that first world title. We were all there caddying and watching you throughout the finals and watching you just do what you do. That was quite a trip that we took, and let us know what happened. What was going on? What was in your mind that week?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it was a great trip. We started off the week. Stevie was on the wrong day flying in, so we were in Philly. We were in Philadelphia, me and Harold, for a night, and then you flew in. We did that great road trip up to Boston and did all the states up there. Stevie reached his hand out of the van at 2 in the morning and touched the ground just to say he was in the States.
I touched the ground like, all right, I was there, come back to sleep.
But I mean, the week was, you know, I mean, it was just kind of like any other Worlds. You know, we had been traveling together to those tournaments for a long time, and you know, I had the same expectation. I wanted to go and try to win.
Right.
Of course, you know, you never know what's going to happen until it does, but you know, none of my other 2 world championships have been that way. I haven't had my friends being that close and it being so unexpected. I mean, you guys were just there for me, and I remember you guys were, you know, playing defense and keeping everybody away. And
yeah, we had to block out the crowd because everybody was trying to get to you.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
we had, you know, 3 or 4 guys just blocking, like surrounding Nate just to keep guys away from, you know, going and just crawling all over him.
Let me ask you, in that world championships, what was the big key? What did it for you in that Worlds? What was going on in your mind? What was your mindset like, bro? And what part of your game was the strongest at that point?
I mean, I would have to say in any world championship, that it was the whole game coming together finally. But I think really for me, it was the fact that I got into a routine that week where I started kind of, you know, we ate the same lunch every day. You know, we were kind of doing the same thing and having a good time at night and not just kind of sitting there. We were going out and having a good time and hanging with friends, and I just got into a good groove that week, and my game just finally came together, and it just happened to be the right time and the right place.
It's funny that you just said about the routine. My bro and I were going over that discussion just this morning, as a matter of fact, about routine. What do you mean when you say routine, and how important is it?
You know, it's very important. I mean, it's not so much superstition, but a routine. I mean, you know, it could be as little as, you know, what you eat for breakfast in the morning, to, you know, how many drives you throw out on the field, to how long you like to putt for. Everybody has a routine, and that gets you ready for the tournament round. Get your mind ready, get your body ready, and everybody's different. You know, now my routine is I like to putt. I really don't like to throw that many shots before a round, and I just like to get mentally prepared. So a routine is, I would say, for any successful disc golfer or any successful athlete, they have their own routine, and you need to find your own, and I think that'll really help.
That's awesome. I mean, in these interviews that we do sometimes, we always talk about, it's more about in the mind, because, I mean, there's a lot of videos out there that tell you how to throw, you know, they tell you kind of how to putt, but there's a mental aspect that you have to perform before you even go out there and play the game. And if you're not in that right mental frame of mind, you might as well give up, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the game is you know, 10% physical and 90% mental, in my opinion. I mean, you see everybody out here playing disc golf, from guys that are big, tall, long-armed, you know, fat, skinny, whatever, but it's all what they have up in their mind. If they can keep it together on the course, that's the most important part. I mean, I preach in training people and coaching people, I would say, let's work around your game the way you play, but let's work on your mind frame. You know, don't think too far ahead. Don't think behind you. You know, keep right on what you're doing at that moment. And I know it's hard, and we all fall, you know, to the rigors of playing a tournament. You know, we get too far ahead of ourselves. We're worried about the bogey, double bogey we just took. But if you can find that routine and that mental strength to kind of forget about all that, you'll really find yourself to be more successful.
Now, do you use the routine to put you in your comfort zone, to where, I mean, you're just in a different place for that 30 seconds that you step up to putt?
Yeah, I mean, you know as well as anybody, being a great putter, that it's all about the routine and that mind frame that you have. You know, if you're going up to a putt, you know, for me, if I'm going up to a putt thinking about what am I going to have for dinner, or what we were doing last night or whatever, then I don't putt that well. Right. So I always find a certain thing that's in my mind, a certain kind of something to help with my flow. I'm thinking outside in or peanut butter and jelly, whatever it might be. Yeah. I always try to find a certain way to help my tempo. So I pull back and I go forward and try to make it the same every single time.
And you growing up here at De La Viega, which is one of the best courses in the world, you obviously take your lumps out here playing a course like this, and you got to learn to overcome that. Otherwise, you take it into the following holes. When you're playing a tournament out here, something like this, and you have these holes that are just horrible holes, and how do you recover from that before you just carry it over and let it snowball? How do you keep the wheels from coming off when you have a bad shot?
Well, it's kind of for me, it's a way that I look at the whole game itself and the whole tournament. We've all been playing tournaments for so long that we know that the bad holes are going to happen, the bad rounds are going to happen, and the bad tournaments are going to happen. And sometimes it's just not your time, and you have to look at it that way. So that way, if you take a 6, you go, well, you know what, the next hole, I'm going to just go out and do what I practice to do, not try to recover and make an error. Trying to recover from something is how that's the snowballing effect.
Right.
Is you're going to go, well, I just 6'd or 5'd a hole right before one of the toughest holes in the course. Now you're going, oh shit, well, you know what, that one throw, I saw somebody birdie it one time, you're thinking I can birdie it. That takes you out of your own game.
Right.
Not the way that you practiced it.
That's awesome.
And let it go and work on it later, try to get it later in the round. But not to say that I do that all the time or that we all do it, because we all make that mistake. But when you're playing your best, you're really allowed, you're able to let all that stuff go.
And right now, you're at home now. You're at De La, and that's the most awesome place to be when you're playing golf. But you've been on the road. How's that going for you, bro? What's your situation like out on the road? What are your plans?
The road's been, it's a tough game. It's a tough game being on the road and playing disc golf. The travels, the people you meet, the places you get to go is just absolutely unbelievable. But playing disc golf on the road is not for the light at heart. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. And I think some of the things we've been talking about is because I've been on the road for so long.
Right.
Knowing the week in and week out stuff. But no, the tour has been great. And after the Masters Cup, we're leaving right away for Iowa, and then playing in Kansas City, and then coming back to Oregon and playing. So, it's a lot of driving and a lot of taking flights here and there. But it's really a great time, especially when you get to go play in places that you've played before, like going to Des Moines. I love the courses in Des Moines next weekend. Going to Kansas City, seeing all of our great friends in Kansas City, and just getting to hang out. So I'm looking forward to all that.
A lot of the disc golfers who are watching these interviews, they think that going out on the road is just the most wonderful thing, and that nothing's going to go wrong because they're playing disc golf all the time, and that's life out there, and they're just going to become so good. Yeah, they're going to become good, but there's a flip side to that, is being on the road the whole time and having to make disc golf your lifestyle. So then it becomes all one now. I got to play good to stay on the road, and that's an added pressure. Now this is something that these guys have been doing throughout the years, and people don't know that. So go ahead and tell a little bit about what you go through and what you see ahead on these tours.
Yeah, like you said, being on tour, glamorous to a certain degree of, the fun of traveling, but the playing tournaments week in and week out and having no time to kind of reflect on what happened. You go out one week, you play great, the next week you can't hit a putt. You're like, whoa, what the hell is going on? I'm practicing every day. Right. But it's because you're wearing yourself out, you're not mentally in the same place. Maybe just that course isn't good enough, or not good enough, but it doesn't play well for you.
Fit your style.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're traveling around, that happens. Right. But I think if people are thinking about going on the road, what I would tell them, if it's your first time, save up, save up, save up. Have enough money to do the tour right. Do it right by going to the best tournaments, having time in between tournaments to go travel around, see new things, go to Sand Mountain, go to here, go to here.
Rock quarries?
Yeah, exactly. Well, just places that somebody from anywhere might not see in another place.
Enjoy yourself while you're out there.
And enjoy yourself. What we do, this is a job for us. We love our job. We have one of the best jobs in the world, but it is a job, and And don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's hard.
I'll bet. Well, a good thing too though is that you know, you got your girlfriend on tour with you. That's cool. She's one of the greatest disc golfers in the world.
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
It works out great because me and Val, we kind of have the same mentality in things. Disc golf is not something that we like to do every day, or even week in and week out. You know, sometimes I'll go, you know what, Val, I'm tired, and she's like, awesome, because I don't really want to play this weekend. You know, we may miss a tournament that everybody else is playing, but that's just because we like a little time off and a little bit of time to ourselves. So
You need that.
yeah,
You
and,
gotta have that out there.
exactly. And me and Val, we're so great together day in and day out. I mean, you know, we live in close quarters for months at a time, and we rarely ever have an argument. Of course, everybody does here and there, but it's more about, you know, which food place we're going to go or something like that. You know, it's nothing that big. So it's great to have a good support system on tour as well. Having your best buds.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
people that you're going to go out and really root for, and you know, if they win, it's just like you winning. You know, and,
Right,
and vice
right.
versa.
Absolutely.
We feel the same way, bro. We always talk about, you know, we always still love the champ. We love the champ. We want to see him do well. You know, EMAC. There's a lot of guys out there we're going, wow, you know what? That's cool. He works hard. He deserves it, and he's also a great guy.
Yeah.
So we feel that way. Let me ask you this now. I mean, aside from De La, what's one of your best courses, bro, that you love to play?
I really love playing at Winthrop. You know, Winthrop Gold for the USDGC.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think every disc golfer who has experienced that course in a tournament setting is just in love with it. I mean, there's no pressure like that. There's no ambiance. You know, there's the feeling you get when you're there is really
Right.
incredible. And, you know, I love playing there. Another place is up in Estacada, Oregon for the Beaver State Fling. Right now, if somebody said, hey, Nate, where you could pick one course you got to play for the rest of your life, I would pick that course. Yeah, I mean, I love De La Viega. I've been playing here for 20 years now, but I just love the shots up there, and it's just so pretty with the river and the green grass, big fairways. I mean, it's really, if we could find 20 or 30 of those around the country, I think we could run a tour just on those courses, and it would be awesome.
Right. Well, and back in the day, bro. I mean, I remember back in the day when it was, you know, you had to go to a tournament and you had to beat Kenny or Jeff, and that was pretty much it. You'd be right there and for one of the wins. How have you seen the sport develop now, as far as competition-wise, and what do you do just to kind of keep that edge?
I mean, the way that I see it is, you know, I go out, I'm nervous every tournament. I've never gone into a tournament ever feeling like I'm the favorite or I should win.
And that's good, though, because a lot of people would think, well, you know, Nate Doss, he's the man. You know, he doesn't get nervous anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get nervous every tournament. I'm nervous this tournament. I'll be nervous next week. And it's because the level of competition is just getting higher and higher and higher and higher. I mean, you got Will Schustrick, Paul McBeth, Nico LaCastro, you know, Kale's on the road now. And then you got the old veterans, you know, Felberg, Avery, Steve-O. I mean, you got all these guys that now can really win on any given weekend. And I think over the last few years, we've proved that.
Right.
Because there's not really one guy out going and dominating the tour. And that's one thing that I think is really good. I mean, it keeps me on my toes. I think it keeps all of us on our toes. And
Yeah, it does.
if you slip up for even a minute in time, they go thoom thoom thoom, thoom. You know, it's like it's like a car race. They just go right past you. You know, and it's awesome to see. I love that fact. I love that fact that every weekend is a battle, and if you don't play your best, you're going to see yourself outside the top 10, and you know, it makes you work harder too.
Dude, I can go on for days talking to you. I've known you for so long, bro.
Exactly.
And I mean, I love talking to you about all this stuff. I mean, you know, my family and my wife and everybody. I mean, they probably think we're crazy because it's just disc golf. You know, and it's a love-hate thing, obviously, bro. Some days we're like, God, why do I keep doing this? And then some days, like, there's nothing else I'd rather do.
Exactly.
You know, and to talk to somebody like you, or even talk to my bro every day, dude, it's like only we understand of what we go through. You know, we you know, whether you talk about, you know, you talk about movies that relate to more to ball golf, but it's the same mental aspect of it. You know, it's just the stuff that we go through. And I think the reason why we started these In the Minds interviews, because a lot of people, they need to know more or less of what some of the big dogs are thinking, bro. You know, in the game, and they're not going to get anywhere unless they know a certain mindset before they go into these things, man.
Absolutely.
You know? Anything?
one more thing before we close is what's the best advice you can give to an up and coming golfer as far as playing golf on the course and for getting prepared for a tournament?
For me, I would tell that person to not overdo it. I mean, don't go out there and go and play 3 rounds, or especially before a big tournament like the Masters Cup. I mean, just for example, I haven't played in 3 days. I practiced on Monday and I haven't played for the last 3 days. I mean, of course, it's my hometown, and I wouldn't do that in every town. But what I'm trying to get at is take your time when playing a practice round. Spend a little time around the basket. Putt 5, 6, 10 times even around a green. Get to know a green, because that's the most important part. Right. Is getting to the hole, but knowing that green and being confident around it. And just take your time. Don't rush. Play with good friends, if you can, and just try to have a good time, because the tournament is going to come and be stressful enough. There's no reason that a practice round should ever be stressful. It should be.
That's awesome.
It should be really it should be a casual thing that you're focused, but when the tournament comes, you kind of feel a little bit more comfortable, because you just play with your buddies during the practice round. You're mentally ready to go. You've put your time in, and like I said before, sometimes it's your weekend and sometimes it's not.
Right.
And another thing is, you could go out and have the best practice rounds and play the tournament like hell. But you could go out and have the worst practice rounds and come out Saturday morning and just start shredding. I mean, that's just how it goes, and you just got to be confident and play more tournaments, basically.
Well, I'll tell you, man, it's been awesome. Thanks for doing the interview with us, bro. Thanks to Murder Mike, who's been putting this on with us as well. Like I said, I can go on all day with you, bro.
We could.
We miss you so much, bro. We don't talk to you for a while, bro. It's amazing, dude.
Exactly.
But it's great to talk to you. It's great to be out here in De La. I wish you so much success, bro. We root for you every bit along the way. I love seeing your name up there, dude. Like I said, I miss you, bro. We're your biggest fans.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
And we love you. And
love you too.
Happy birthday.
Love you,
I know that was
yeah.
happened yesterday.
May 17th, right here.
May 18th.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
but we
right,
talk
today.
about you all the time, bro. So thanks for doing the interview. This is Legacy Discs, Murder Mike Productions, here with the champ, Nate Doss. See ya.